Disney and football! Hey everyone, it's Max, and as you know, I love Disney, but I also love football. I love the Jets. Yeah, the New York Jets. Yes, I've never seen them in a Super Bowl because the only Super Bowl they were in, they won in 1969. Of course, I wasn't here for that. But one day! So I thought, today, since the Super Bowl is in 2 days, why don't I take a look at the Disney and football connections, because there are actually a lot of them. So, here's some of my favorites. So let me start with some cartoons. So in 1932, there's this cartoon called Touchdown Mickey. Black and white, has 4 out of the Fab 5 members actually in it, but Goofy kind of appears in it, which is like really interesting. He plays an announcer in it called Dippy the Goof. It was like an early version of Goofy, so isn't that crazy? Because then I think my favorite football cartoon actually is involving Goofy. I watched this one all the time as a kid, and actually when I go to Disney World, they have like, one of the channels they have on the TVs is they just play all the classic cartoons, and when I see this one, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my childhood, I used to watch this all the time. It's called How to Play Football. Don't use this cartoon as a lesson on how to play football. The cartoon's all goofy. They're all the characters in it are goofies. He's everything. He's all the players, the coaches, he's in the crowd. It's so funny. And the teams are Taxidermy Tech versus Anthropology A&M. Yeah. This is great names too. And it's just a classic, and I love like the announcer on it. And the score ends, spoiler, 13 to 12 and a half. What? This is another spoiler about how the game ended, was that a deflated football didn't go over the goalpost. Patriots, anyone? So then there's this other cartoon called Football Now and Then, and it's from 1953. And it actually was at a time when football was kind of picking up in popularity. Like, most popular was still baseball and the other sports, but football was picking up in popularity. And it looks at basically the differing styles of football and back in the day, and how like you're starting to watch football on TV. And what's interesting, I think, is that Disney, I think, really knew the power of watching football on TV, and because that's why football is the #1 sport in America now, because of television. And I think he knew that it was going to be the most popular sport. He knows everything. He knew everything before it was coming, I'm telling you. So those are the cartoons. So now, football movies! Yes, okay. Disney has actually had a bunch of football movies. They had Gus, which was about a mule who kicked 100-yard field goals. What? They had Invincible, really inspiring story. They had The Game Plan, really funny comedy with The Rock. But the best one is Remember the Titans. This is such a classic movie, and Denzel Washington is in it, and it shows like the struggles of the racist culture, and it just showed how, like, you know, people can work together and move on and move past all of the racism and stuff, and it's just a really inspiring classic movie. I loved watching this movie back in the day. It's not even back in the day. What was it, like 2000 or something? I don't know. Yeah, that is back in the day. It's like 15 years ago. What? No, it's 16 years ago. It's 2016. Okay, believe it or not, Disney also had halftime shows. What? Yes, Disney had halftime shows. They actually did a bunch of them, but there was this one that is just ridiculous, and it is so bad. You have to watch it. There's a link on YouTube. I just watched it because I needed to refresh my memory on things. I didn't even remember this one, but it actually happened in 1995. They did a Super Bowl halftime show based on Indiana Jones. It was actually called Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye, which is the name of the ride at Disneyland. And this halftime show came out the same year that the ride came out in Disneyland, and it's ridiculous. I gotta tell you the premise of it because it's ridiculous. So, Indiana Jones and Marion steal the Super Bowl trophy, and they try to save the trophy from, like, bad guys that are chasing them all around. All the while, Patti LaBelle and Gloria Estefan, Tony Bennett are all like singing these like big production numbers, and then wait for it, the thing like culminates in a Can You Feel the Love Tonight performance. It is so bizarre and so trippy, and watching it like 20 years later, you're like, what was Disney thinking? It's so ridiculous. But yeah, the Indiana Jones ride, which opened that year, and then also it was right after The Lion King came out, so they were like, we're gonna put everything we're doing into one massive production. and it's gonna be ridiculous. Watch it. I'll put the link below. It's so silly. So those are some of the things that are Disney and football related, but the number one thing, the thing I've saved for last, is the thing that really I love so much, and it is when the Super Bowl winner gets to say, "I'm going to Disney World!" Not gonna lie, these commercials get me choked up every single year, except if it's the Patriots. And then I'm like, what is this nonsense? Tom Brady's going to Disney. I'm avoiding that day. But besides the Patriots, these commercials get me really choked up. So emotional. You win a game, you get to say that, you get to bring your family, and you get to go in a parade and down Main Street in Disneyland or Disney World. Oh, that's so cool. Man, that's so cool. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. Do you guys know who the first one is? Actually started in 1987. Phil Simms, New York Giants quarterback. He was the first one to do it, and they actually paid him to do it. He made quite a nice bit of money from that, and it's a brilliant idea. And Phil Simms was the first one to do it, and I guess you're going to hear him broadcast the game on Sunday, because now he does broadcasting. I wonder who we're going to hear get that, "Hey, either Peyton Manning," or "Hey, Cam Newton, you and the Denver Broncos / Carolina Panthers just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?" "I'm going to Disney World!" They have to record two now, actually. They do one for Disney World and one for Disneyland. We'll see who wins this year. Who do you guys think is going to win the Super Bowl? Oh, I kind of want to see Peyton ride off into the sunset and retire a winner. I think that would be so cool. I really do. But I think it's going to be really hard because the Panthers are really good. Alright guys, in the comments below, let me know who you want to win the Super Bowl, and also tell me what your favorite Disney football connection is. Enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. Like, subscribe. This was kind of fun. I enjoyed this. Go Jets. Have a magical day, everybody. I'm going to Disneyland. Bye. Mr. Cheesy Pop.